Okay, here we are back again with more Dragon Age Inquisition. And we're still in Skyhold again, some more. Because there's a bunch more places that have opened up recently, and I want to check it out. Here's another thing to read. Construction report, brick marks. Skyhold has stolen bricks. Found a brick mark I know from my elder's notes. Fired in High Ever before it was sacked in 480. That was Orlais, but this style isn't, so it was probably looted. There may be others. That time is long past, but the Inquisitor should know where they live. Ganon, Mason. Our cause rights a greater wrong. Crimes of the past will be eclipsed soon enough as this becomes the home of the Inquisition, but send word to High Ever so they can amend their histories. Commander Cullen. Interesting. Let's head in here. I haven't been in here yet. Sir Morris, hello.
Oh, Bells, it's you. Morris. Sir Morris, I suppose. I am serving as quartermaster for Skyhold and its arriving throngs.
Okay.
Stores are growing, and so long as we have fair coin to restock, you and yours will be well served.
Where's Quartermaster Thren?
The previous quartermaster survived Haven. Where is she?
She had views. Has views.
She does.
Perfectly legitimate ones if you share them, Inquisitor. I believe it was felt that your quartermaster should be more palatable
I
now
see.
that the Inquisition is in Orlais.
Oh, yeah.
She continues to serve, just not at the fore.
Now, see, this is actually a super legitimate reason for replacing the Quartermaster, right? Because the Inquisition does have a strong presence in Orlais and is only gonna get stronger. And of course, Quartermaster Thren is very much a fan of Logain Mactir, who was a super anti-Orlais. And so, needless to say, yeah, I mean, we probably do need a more palatable quartermaster than Thren. So what are your qualifications?
What makes you ideal for this position? It's an important
It
one.
is indeed.
My family has ties to several freehold militias, as well as cousins acting as officers in Ferelden and Orlais.
And your qualifications?
My family holds treaties with 3 new money Tevinter houses, and a rare Orzuma contract with a Paragon namesake.
And your qualifications?
To be honest, your worship, that was my question. I am the nexus of a dozen threads tied by others, designed to cast the widest and most appealing resource net. But I will rise to the occasion. Skyhold will want for nothing. I swear it.
You seem very plucky, and I like plucky, so I think I'm gonna like you, Sir Morris. Are we well supplied?
How's it going? Do we have what we need?
Our capacity increases, as do our requests to suppliers. I've had to threaten some contracts. It was exhilarating.
I'm so
As you
glad.
were.
We are here for you, Inquisitor.
I appreciate Sir Morris. I love his I love his enthusiasm and his pluck. It's very nice. I'm gonna head up here. What's this? A letter home. Father, no, I will not come home. I know what happened to Haven. I was there, and I am not afraid of death. If none of us are brave enough to stand, then all of us will fall. I am your son. If you trust nothing else, trust me. The Inquisition is our only hope. I also would like to request that you stop using such language to refer to the Inquisitor. It is not what you think. She is not trying to replace the Divine or the Chantry or become a god. I realize it's difficult for you to understand, knowing the Inquisitor is a mage after everything that's happened, but all the mages want is to live as we do, free, without fear. I don't think that's too much to ask, and I do believe that the Inquisition can find a way for all of us to live in peace. If Andraste really sent the Herald, choosing a mage would be the best way to send her message of peace and love, don't you think? That's fair. I just hope you'll be able to see that this is what I want and what I feel is my duty. I think Mother would be proud, and I know she would want you to be proud of me too. Your son and dedicated Inquisition soldier, Eustace. Aww. I would like to find Eustace and give him a little hug. That's very sweet. Also, notice you might notice I changed my clothes. Pamphlet, lift your voices. Greetings, Singquisition. I hope you are excited for our next meeting. I certainly am. In these dark times, fellowship and song will keep us from the depths of despair, so let us lift our voices and our spirits. Here are the pieces we will be learning in the upcoming weeks. Lyrics and musical notation are available in the archives, so come prepared. The Stormcoast's Claim, Circle of Flame, The Girl in Red Crossing, The Ballad of Nuggins, Scout Harding fought hard for this one, so she will conduct, Twinkling Lucia of the Heavens, Whither You Took My Gold, or The Jolly Tavern, Arl Jason's Ride, I Shall Prevail. Although there were many votes for Andraste's Mabari, I have decided to leave it off the list, as attempts to perform it tend to leave most choir members a sobbing mess. Singquisitor Faye. P.S. I understand that some of you object to being called the Singquisition. If you can't come up with a better name, it is not your place to criticize. And no, the Harry Heralds is not a better name. Oh, Singquisition. That's awesome. I would totally join the Singquisition, okay? It's been a while since I've been in a choir, but I would totally join the Singquisition. That would be totally up my alley.
If you say so.
Alright.
Someone left sliced plums on the windowsill again. The juice is attracting flies. There are spiders everywhere. The plums were right in front of me, but I can't quite recall who took them.
People forgetting things, huh? Well, that sounds like something Cole might be doing for some reason. Who knows? So I have my trainers here. Let's see. Your trainer, Commander Helene, and, oh, Vius Anaxis. Okay, let's talk to them. I do pretty much know what specialization I'm going to take, but I'm going to talk to all of them anyway, just to get an idea of what are the options.
Inquisitor, I heard a tapping. My skills are required.
And you are?
Speaker Vius Anaxas. I have come from Navarra as a voice for the dead. Welcome them, and they will serve your cause.
You speak for the dead.
Excuse me? You speak for who?
The dead. Many assume that they have misheard. I am of the Mortalitasi.
I see.
We tend to those who have passed and revere their lives by honoring them in death. And when the living are threatened, we give the bodies of the dead physical purpose once more. Necromancy, Inquisitor. The dead will serve for you.
Mortalitasi.
What is a Mortalitasi?
We are the caretakers of the Grand Necropolis of Navarre.
Right, this is what Cassandra
For a
told us.
treasured relative, we usher a spirit of the Fade into the void of their mortal form. It honors them both. But when enemies threaten the living, we turn death into a weapon of war, instead of merely the result.
You raise the dead.
You're saying you can bring the dead back to life?
Of course not. The souls of our departed cross the Fade to be with the Maker. The body is left empty.
Then what is it that you do?
In the Grand Necropolis, we would usher in a displaced spirit of the Fade, eliminating imbalance. But this is war. Every battlefield has one thing in abundance: death. I turn the bodies of enemies into weapons against them. We do not manipulate the living. We make use of the dead.
This sounds like blood magic.
You're a mage who manipulates life. How is this not blood magic?
Blood magic consumes life. It tears at the living to manipulate and destroy. It is a cancer among our kind. We honor life by venerating the dead. We give their mortal form purpose. In combat, perhaps only for a few moments, but that is still more than they had. More than opposing you normally allows.
And why is this a good discipline?
Tell me why this would best suit me.
It is not for everyone, yet we all reach beyond life. You have already killed many out of necessity.
That's true.
To stop at death is wasteful. Death can make allies of enemies. Death can rend the battlefield. Death can terrify.
People will fear me.
Don't you want to terrify? Fear means there are fewer to fight next time. Fear means lives are saved, if that is your concern.
Okay, so tell me what's involved.
I'm ready to learn what you know.
Then your journey begins as others end. The steps are small, but vital. There is instruction and veneration. Then you'll return. We shall see what this life holds for you.
Okay, so that's the necromancy specialization. They removed blood magic as a specialization for mages in Dragon Age Inquisition. I think for a couple of reasons. In part because, for one thing, in the previous games, blood magic was always super overpowered. It rendered everything else pretty null. And so, partly, I think, for game balancing purposes, it was removed. And also, honestly, I think partly out of just sheer story necessity. A mage leader of the Inquisition should probably not be a blood mage, right? So in Dragon Age Origins, you could be a blood mage, and even characters who would theoretically have severely objected to it didn't say a thing, right? In Dragon Age Inquisition, you don't really have that luxury, because everybody is so reactive and the approval system is so different. It just would seem way out of place to just be able to take a specialization and not have people comment on it. And as we move through this process, certain characters will have comments on the specialization that I choose, or specializations that I don't choose. They might actually have things to say about it. And as such, because blood magic is so taboo, I can understand why they decided it just would not work in this particular context, right? It's like, Hawk could potentially get away with blood magic, in her situation, but, like, the Inquisitor is really not in a position where she could practice blood magic and get away with it and not have people object strongly to it. Even if it's only your own blood and it's not objectionable and it's not morally shady, people would assume it is morally shady, and it just would not work for the whole PR thing. It just wouldn't work. So anyway, necromancy is one of the mage specializations. Necromancy is a lot of crowd control. So he talked about fear. You can fear enemies with it. You get horror if you take necromancy. And there's some other stuff you do too. But yeah, necromancy is a lot of crowd control stuff. And a lot of fearing enemies. And, like, turning them against each other. So there's some debuffing, too, and stuff. So let's talk to Commander Helene next and see what she has for me.
Hold and declare, Inquisitor.
What do you mean?
I ask your intent. I was summoned to oversee training, and I would know my charge. I am your commander in this matter. Commander Helene.
Welcome, Commander.
Thank you for coming, Commander Helene.
Commander will suffice, recruit. I teach the skills of the Knight Enchanter. It is a rank. It is a life. Understanding its hierarchy is the first step. You already know this. You were not made Inquisitor and then taught to lead.
Okay, true.
I will teach you how to rise to your place. How to join your warriors, spectral blade in hand. How to command the ranks while standing beside them. Are you ready?
Alright, so an elf has a human rank, huh?
Commander is a title I associate with human forces.
Mm-hmm.
Knight Enchanter has roots in elven tradition, but it has utility in every tradition. There are no borders for the mage who wields a spectral blade. There is respect, and there is fear.
Where have you served?
Who granted your rank? What forces have you served with?
I cannot say.
Then how do I know you're capable?
You know because I have told you, and I will teach you the same authority.
Okay, why is this a good discipline?
Tell me why this would best suit me.
I cannot. Only you know if you are fit to lead with more than maps. Do you have the mettle to raise a blade in grand melee? To have your presence make heroes of your charges? This is a path for leaders. You tell me if you are worthy.
Okay, show me what's involved.
I'm ready to learn what you know.
Then we will begin the simple steps, recruit. And we shall see what heights you reach. You have a task, a simple construction. Go, learn, and return. Soon you will lead from the front. Soon you will command.
Okay, so Knight Enchanter is our second specialization, and in all honesty, this is probably going to be the one I take. As much for role-playing purposes as for utility purposes, because I honestly think that in terms of role-playing situations, Knight Enchanter does kind of work the best for a Mage Inquisitor. The big thing with Knight Enchanter is that you do get the Spirit Blade skill, which allows you to melee combat. It does spirit damage. It can do huge spirit damage. It did get nerfed after a while. When the game first released, it was like super, super, super overpowered, and Knight Enchanter was by far the best mage specialization in the game, bar none, because of the Spirit Blade skill. They nerfed it significantly after a certain point in time. I don't even remember when they nerfed it exactly, but it's not quite as awesome as it used to be. It has like a charge and a build up for it, so you don't necessarily need to use it as often anymore, or it's not as efficient to use it super often anymore, but it also, you have like a group heal, and there's some other buffs involved in it. It's a really good specialization for someone who wants their Inquisitor to really feel like they're leading from the front as a mage. Because, of course, mages usually kind of stand back and dole out spells from a distance. The Knight Enchanter specialization allows you to get a lot closer. It helps you strengthen your barrier a lot. So if you use a barrier, you can have almost a permanent barrier if you build it right. So that you can basically stay right in melee range the whole time for an entire fight and not ever even lose your barrier. So it can be super powerful. For almost you can almost be a tanky mage if you want, with the right build. So it's pretty good. But let's talk to our third person, your trainer.
Hello. Yes, hello. I am your trainer.
Yes?
I am your trainer.
You said that.
Good, because it has been a long journey. The cause is just, and if we don't start soon, you won't have time to learn. I am your trainer.
Are you alright?
You seem a little scattered.
It's nothing. I'm just a little fatigued. It's nothing. Thank you. I was charged with studying the breach and the subsequent rifts to discover how they affected traditional disciplines. I was enthralled. So were the 19 others, I presume. They're dead. They learnt the power, but couldn't wield it. Rift Mage Inquisitor. The forces are incredible. And with training, you will be incredible. I know how not to die, and I can teach it. It's incredible.
What is your name?
You didn't mention your name.
I am your trainer.
That isn't a name.
It is what I am. I try very hard to remember that much. There is so much else to keep in mind. Understand, Inquisitor, that I have learnt it all very quickly, so you do not have to.
Okay, who told you to study rifts?
Who charged you with studying magic from the rifts?
The Mages Collective. I did not just say
Oh.
that. Yes, I did say it, and we're proud to help. We are nimble, we could move quickly and commit people to this rift magic. Many people. Their lives made it stable and safe. We're very proud.
The Mages Collective. Man, I haven't heard that phrase since Dragon Age Origins. That's great. Rifts are a pretty recent phenomenon, though.
The rifts were triggered by the breach. There's already a school of magic.
A school? No. Yes. Sort of. The holes in the veil flooded us with magic, and that can be used. It changed some rules, modified them, enough that the careless inverted themselves, old forces in new forms. Others will try, their results will vary, but you will have the best instruction. Because your trainer has already taken the risk. The price has been paid.
Why is this a good discipline?
Tell me why this would best suit me.
You are the Inquisitor.
And?
You deserve power that casts your enemies aside with the abandon of a creative force, crushes them with your very will. That is the promise. Who better than you? You are the Inquisitor.
Okay.
Very well. Show me how this should go.
It goes places you have been, and some you have not. That is necessary. So the price is not paid twice. Follow the instruction, and you will know the way. You'll understand the power. Then, I'll show you more. After all, I am your trainer.
Indeed, indeed. So yeah, the Rift Mage is our third specialization, and it's like you get Stone Fist with it, and you get like the big fireballs spells. So it's pretty. It's a little bit flashy, I think, but it's fun. Construction report, mixed elements. I'll match best I can, but there are 2 substructures here. Skyhold was built in stages, or rebuilt. Is this where we want to invest? If it's fallen before, how can we be sure it won't fall again? Jane. Foundation repair. 2 words. The Inquisitor. Invest and commit. We are as strong as the will of the weakest of us. Cassandra Pentegast. Okay. Let's...
It was an archdemon, they say.
It wasn't. Diseased, maybe.
You didn't see it. It had coloured fire.
My father saw the last archdemon. You don't know anything.
Okay. Let's talk to Bonnie Sims.
Lady Inquisitor, Bonnie Sims at your service. I trust good secret was not too coarse. Now that you've come to some good fortune, you deserve an upgrade. As master of the tradesman, I stand ready to supply your every need.
The tradesman?
Who or what are the tradesmen?
A following of sympathetic and profit-minded individuals who promote local craftsmen and fair importers. A guild of sorts. Although that implies counter-affiliations we are not interested in crossing.
I see.
Our purpose in the Inquisition is legitimate and honorable. You will have what you need at honest prices.
So where is Segret?
Segret survived Haven. Where is he?
About? Doing good work for you and yours? But this position is now more desirable. It was time arrangements were made. I shall make every effort to prove that this is an upgrade.
Okay. So you're master of your group.
Why are you a mere merchant if you're the master of this group?
I wish to avoid the suggestion that I am a posturing commander atop a structure of malcontents. It is better to remain active, hands-on. Do you not agree, Inquisitor?
That... Yeah, she has to agree with that. What can you do for me?
What do you bring to the Inquisition?
What you need, and more. It takes great coordination to make a remote location seem central. While there is no doubt the boutiques of Valroyo display the grandest of the grand, they do not travel. At least, not yet.
That's a mighty big promise.
We'll speak another time.
Of course, Lady Inquisitor.
Well, let's talk to you again really quick.
Inquisitor.
So how is business?
How are you doing? Good business?
Building. Always building. Thanks to you.
And how can I bring in commerce?
Skyhold needs a healthy flow of goods. How can I help?
One of the major hubs is freed. Continue on this path, and you're on your way.
Okay.
We'll speak another time.
Of course, Lady Inquisitor.
I believe she's talking about the, keeps, actually. And yeah, wow, I do need to, empty my... inventory. I will do that, but the main thing that I wanted to point out here is that you can buy blank runestones from Bonnie Sims. So this is where I can actually get my blank runestones. So that's fun. Here's our stable. Blackwall has already taken up residence. And my horsey.
Our mounts have never had better.
Agreed. I do have the first Dracolisk. The Hunter Shade Dracolisk.
Inquisition?
That's a fancy, weird-looking mount, but okay. Master Dennett, how are things in the new
Feels
stable?
good to be back at work, Inquisition. And lucky you have me. Mountain air like this, not healthy for many animals. But I'll make do with your little fortress.
How are the horses?
How are your charges? Well supplied?
Surprisingly well. Not many could feed these people, let alone their mounts. Makes me wonder what you're capable of.
And how's the family?
Are your wife and daughter doing well?
Elena's minding the farms. Sienna's still running her full races. Wouldn't be fair to drag them up here. I miss them. But someone has to save the world.
You're a good man, Master Dennett.
Farewell.
Make her be with you.
And I can buy more mounts here. So that's good. There's some more stuff to buy here. Oh, there's not, I don't think quite yet. Yeah. There will eventually, I think, be another merchant here. But not yet. But that's fine. Okay. I think the next thing...
Standards. That'll guide the dragon right in.
By the time it's across the growing legions, that roaring pincushion will be ripe for swords.
That easy?
Never said it'd be easy, but we win, so it won't come.
Yeah. So, notice I've changed out of for more formal wear as well. I like this outfit. I like the color of the shirt on it. It's pretty fun. It's just a recolor of the original, what the fandom sort of affectionately calls the Skyhold pajamas. I never minded I don't mind the design of this outfit at all, honestly. The color was bland though, so I like the blue. But I mean, other than that, it's fine. Right. I think I want to talk to Solas now, because I haven't yet since we got to Skyhold. And now might be a good time for it. So, hey, Solas, buddy.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, tell me more of yourself.
I'm interested in what you told me of yourself in your studies. If you have time, I'd like to hear more.
You continue to surprise me. All right, let us talk. Preferably somewhere more interesting than this.
Really? Where could be more interesting than Skyhold? We're back in Haven. How is that possible?
Haven is familiar. It will always be important to you.
We talked about that already.
I sat beside you while you slept, studying the anchor.
Yeah, I don't think I ever thanked you for it.
I'm glad someone was watching over me.
You were a mystery. You still are. I ran every test I could imagine. Searched the Fade, yet found nothing. Cassandra suspected duplicity. She threatened to have me executed as an apostate if I didn't produce results.
Of course she did.
Cassandra's like that with everyone.
Yeah.
Yes. You were never going to wake up? How could you? A mortal sent physically through the Fade. I was frustrated, frightened. The spirits I might have consulted had been driven away by the breach. Although I wished to help, I had no faith in Cassandra, or she in me. I was ready to flee.
But you didn't.
But you stayed.
I did. I told myself, one more attempt to seal the rifts.
Yeah, the breach is gone.
I tried and failed. No ordinary magic would affect them. I watched the rifts expand and grow, resigned myself to flee, and then... It seems you hold the key to our salvation. You had sealed it with a gesture. And right then, I felt the whole world change.
This mattered to you?
It was that impressive to see me awake.
You had walked in the Fade. I have explored the Fade more than anyone alive. But even I can only visit in dreams. But you might have been able to visit me here while awake.
What do you mean?
Where do you think we were?
Yeah.
This isn't real.
Well, it's a dream, though.
That's a matter of debate. Probably best discussed after you wake up.
Whoa. Wow. Solas, that was something. He's so weird. But also interesting. He's a fascinating character. I'm glad he exists. But yeah, the reason I didn't do that right away is because it can be really disconcerting to do that scene right when you get to Skyhold and then be in your quarters, which you've never seen before and didn't have access to before, and all of a sudden everything else is opened up again, and it's weird. It's just weird. I don't know, it doesn't quite seem to work right, so I always wait a little bit to do that. And I'm pretty sure that is approval locked, so if you don't have high enough approval, you don't unlock that until you have high enough approval with him, but I usually do have pretty high approval with him by this point. Let's go make a detour and check out this place. I on one hand, I really like how big Skyhold is. On the other hand, I kind of wish they would have made better use of it. So this is where all my bottles are, of course. It's the wine cellar. So naturally, all of my bottles are here in storage. But I do feel like they possibly could have made slightly better use of the space, right? So, like, it's great. It's a great design, and I love how big it is.
There's no end of it. I can store an army.
Yeah, basically. But it's like this is like some kind of, I don't know, dining room or banquet hall. I mean, the kitchens are real. This is really close to the kitchens. Yeah, see, this is the kitchen right here. So I feel like this is some kind of like dining hall or banquet hall. Like, why don't we ever use this? And like, but you never use the space in the game. Like the space never gets used. And like this library is so cool. I love it. But it never really gets used in the course of the game, per se. It's just here. It's purely for aesthetics. This is, the fifth part of the Folly of General Not Sheraton, which is cool. There's a bunch of codex entries in here, naturally. The Pyramids of Parvalan. The island called Parvalan was the first land in Thedas to be taken by the Kunari, and has been held by them ever since. But while the Kunari have raised their own marvels on the island, the famed city of Kunandar comes to mind, Parvalan had a rich history before the Kun ever came to its shores. Tear your eyes from Kunandar's wonders and look instead to the jungle. There you'll see the ruins of vast cities that proclaim in silence, "We were here." Parvalan's distinctive pyramids, looming from the overgrowth, have remained largely intact, even if their intended purpose has been lost. They do not seem to be tombs, though some chambers contain bodies that have been carefully preserved. Amazingly, the pyramid's proportions are mathematically perfect. Since their alignment is so precise, one suspects they served some scientific purpose. Observatories, perhaps? And Van Therastes has observed that the shape of the Parvalan pyramids seems perfectly to match the constellation Solium. We know more of the pyramids than we do of the humans who built them. The Kunari came to Parvalan as conquerors, but there is no history and little sign of battles fought on the island's shores. A civilization that could build such vast cities would surely have defenses, armies, perhaps weapons alien even to the Kunari. So why is there so little proof of resistance? One answer may lie in what remains of their temples. Beneath the leaves and vines covering the walls, you can still make out the stylized carvings that adorn them. The paint has long since flaked away, but the silhouettes are clear. Intricate sea creatures, shipwrights, musicians, archers, and kings. Here and there, odd figures are depicted, tall, horned, always in a position of authority and respect. What were these horned figures to the ancients of Parvalin? Priests, ritualistically crowned? Heroes? Gods, perhaps? We may never know the truth. But when the Kunari arrived from the sea, horned and carrying the word of the Qun, perhaps instead of conquerors, the people of Parvalin saw an old legend returning to them. This is all supposition. The humans of Parvalin are Kunari now, their ancient civilization discarded like a child's toy. Yet the pyramids remain, along with the old cities, the island itself. One day, greater scholars may hear what they have to say. From a compiled history of the occupied North by Renatus of Aisley. That's a fascinating thing. What is green? Okay. What is green? Imagine I should present to you an object which, to my mind, is of indisputable greenness, and ask, does this thing appear to you to be green? Naturally, you might say that it does, for you have come to recognize the appearance of the color of the object to be green, associating the word with what your eyes see. But could it be my understanding of green differs entirely from yours? What if, perchance, you could see into my mind? You might realize that all things that I name green are actually red in your understanding. Without the moorings of objective truth, we are set adrift in oceans of solitary experience. The promising opening to a lecture given by Karsten Grocke, philosopher-poet at the University of Orlais. The lecture's quality dropped significantly after this point, and ended quickly when Grocke subjected audience members to a poorly constructed ode to chartreuse. He fled from the auditorium under fire from students armed with overripe red tomatoes. Good. The First Blight Chapter 2. I will have to read those as well. I don't want to go back up. I would like to go to the kitchen, I think. Which I believe is here. Yes. Let's read this. Yet another note from the kitchens. How many times do I have to say this? If it falls on the floor, it's still good to eat. Head cook Donation. Maybe not. Note from the Skyhold kitchens again. If I ever find out who put the turnips in the fireplace, I will personally feed them into the meat grinder. Oh dear. Another note from the Skyhold kitchens. Once again, please keep the elf out of the kitchen. And check the sugar daily to make sure it is still sugar and not salt. Beneath this is written, try keeping this out, followed by an arrow pointing toward a crude drawing of a phallus. Oh dear. Oh, Sarah, you're getting yourself into trouble, I see. A note from the Skyhold kitchens. Request for supplies. Potatoes, 500. Flour, 50 sacks. Dried peas, 100 sacks. Salted meat, as much as possible. Willow switches, 4 to break in the new kitchen hands. Oh,
when
my
I find out
goodness.
who's been throwing fresh bread up on the battlements, there'll be consequences. Mark my words. Strange. Yesterday I thought I saw someone taking a loaf, but I can't quite recall.
Interesting. There's a lot of interesting things happening here. That, I imagine Cole might have something to say about. Alright. So we've run around. I might want to go and check out the jail, if only because it's actually quite impressive. Let's pop into the tavern really quick, though. We have a new tavern. It's great. Take Back the Sky, a tavern cheer. So we have another song. Herald's Rest, a place for all in service here to rest, recoup, and persevere. Though ways the heart remember best, your saving grace, the Herald's Rest. That's nice. So yeah, we've got Krem and Iron Bowl hanging out here. Tavern notices. Archery contest. Saturday, all challengers welcome. Sister Liliana to judge. Except Varric and Bianca.
The funniest thing I've seen in years. That cat dancing around, hopping and pouncing like a fool. Made my day bright, it did. Maker knows what got into the little rat catcher.
Oh, nice. Cabot.
Inquisitor.
And you are?
The bartender. Cabot.
Just the bartender?
You were expecting...
Welcome to the Inquisition.
Well, welcome to the Inquisition.
Thank you. Welcome to the tavern.
Where did you train?
Where did you study? I assume you're trained.
In bartending? I'm no alchemist. You mix the bottles that don't taste like nug and you pretend to listen. I suppose I trained at home during feast day family visits. My specialty is ale. Old Antivan recipe. The secret is ale.
If you're so jaded, why join?
You're a bit of a hard ass. Why are you here?
If I could fight, I'd be in a helmet. If I was a mage, I'd throw fire. And probably be dead. But I can't do anything. Just like the hundreds of people who can't do anything. Who make sure the thousands who can do something can do it. Besides, if you know a safer place than your castle, do share.
Okay, know any rumors?
What's the word out there?
Someone requested a dragon flagon. I threw him out.
And how's morale?
What's the current mood?
Scorn.
Scorn, okay.
As you were.
Inquisitor.
Who is scornful, though? I gotta wonder. So yeah, Iron Bowl is here. Krem is here.
Let me know if you find one.
Let's head upstairs.
I hope I can help somehow. Maybe cleaning?
Ah, Sutherland. Hello.
Oh, Inquisitor. I joined.
Yeah?
Sutherland, your worship.
Lots of people are
I saw
joining.
some bandits, so I came to warn people. I'll let your warriors know and then stay out of the way.
Okay. That gives us an operation, which is cool.
We don't need those chargers. We've soldiers enough without sellswords.
Look at their captain. What good could that bring?
Excuse you.
Mercs are mercs. Can't trust any of them. No cause but money.
I hope that's the case with a leader like that.
Yes.
Excuse you. The Iron Bull is a valued member of the Inquisition. Don't talk about him like that. That's rude. Here's Sarah's room. I love Sarah's room. It's one of my favorite places in Skyhold, to be perfectly honest. She's like, I love her little. She seems like such a magpie that I like. It's just so her. Sarah's cabinet of wonder whose it was. Delivered. One cabinet suitable for a lady's curiosities, if resources should be spent on such things. Sir Morris. Below, a comment and journal entries by Sarah. Also, doodles of Sarah with her tongue out. Eat it, Morris. Stuff needs a place. Stuff. Banner. Circle. Soft. Lizard. Scratched out. Rough and weird. Holla. Fake. Real ones stink. Cards. Little worlds. Goblet. Fancy cup. Cup. Shit goblet. Bottle. Warden. Strong. Bottle. Tevinger. Piss weak. Stupid sword. There's a small blood stain. Silk. Bolts. Not arrow bolts. Soft. Make something. I think that minstrel Meriden is chatting me up. The song is creepy. Okay. I'm not actually going to talk to people just yet, right now. I'm just sort of wandering around, poking in the corners. But there's Cole hanging out. And that door sort of leads to the battlements, basically. So we can get out like this, if you want, up at the top floor, too. Which is convenient. It's convenient. And so, yeah, here we are back at the battlements. I'm pretty sure this is actually where Iron Bull sleeps. That would be why there's an axe in the the bedpost. Hard and Hightown Chapter 5. What? I missed something. I love all these weird hats. That's Cullen's office. Here's Cullen's office. It's a very nice office, if you ask me. He's got it set up pretty good, if you ask me. Cullen does have something for me, though, so I'm going to talk to him.
Inquisitor, I've found where the Red Templars come from. They're in Fall Redoubt.
Indeed.
The knights were fed red lyrium until they turned into monsters,
Yikes.
Samson took over after their corruption was complete.
How do you know Samson?
He was a Templar in Kirkwall until he was expelled from the Order. I knew he was an addict, but this... Red lyrium is nothing like the lyrium given by the Chantry. Its power comes with a terrible madness.
Well, I believe you, yeah.
The Red Templars swarming Haven were proof enough.
We cannot allow them to gain strength. The Red Templars still require lyrium. If we find their source, we can weaken them and their leader.
Are you sure you don't want vengeance?
Are you angrier at Corypheus or Samson?
I don't know. Samson at least should know better.
Yeah,
Caravans
that's a good
of
point.
red lyrium are being smuggled along trade roads. Investigating them could lead to where it's being mined. If you confront them, be wary. Anything connected to Samson will be well guarded.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. And yeah, now we've made a full circuit, I guess you could say. Now we're back at the Rotunda, and you can see, so Solas has begun his artwork, his paintings, right? So we've got, yeah, the breach, like, I assume that's the founding of the Inquisition. This is, I believe, the mage, basically in Hushed Whispers. And this is, the destruction of Haven, I believe. So, yeah. And back to the main hall. So I think I'm gonna leave it here for now.
We'll see. Not much better than the road, you ask me.
If no one else will do it, someone has to step up.
We'll see.
We'll see. Right, so, yeah, I think I'm out of time here, so I'll leave it here. And next time, I'll probably go out to the Fallow Mire. I think it's probably time to head that way. So, as always, if you like what you see, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Later.